Hello, it's Ravine here to do the collective reading for the week of the 16th to the 22nd. I pulled 3 cards from the tarot, and I felt drawn to pull one from the Animal Spirit Oracle deck this week. So what came out first was the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is a card about emotional and heart connections and rooting down into those emotional connections. So it's 2 is a movement card. So 1 is really like the planting of the seeds, it's the beginning, and 2 is where the seeds are germinating, sprouting, they're rooting down. So this is a coming into kind of a new space. So it's about connections, communicating, reaching out, letting yourself be brave enough to expand your vulnerability into sharing yourself with someone else or others, and into testing that water as well. So it's courage, really, and bravery. Kind of going out on a limb, taking a risk. And that came up in last week's reading as well, taking kind of a risk with kind of some new ideas that were coming through. Well, I feel like this week, those seeds that we were talking about last week, that were really starting to kind of be nurtured and culminated by this desire to shift and change, are starting to root. They're starting to really germinate, and they're really reaching out and up. And so there's a lot of guidance here in this reading. So it's really, again, about opening yourself up. And I know this has come up in other readings as well, keeping yourself open. But here we're on a bit of a trajectory. So this is now opening yourself up to the reality that there are also people around you who are ready to support you, who are ready to connect with you, who are where you are at your level. And into taking that risk to opening up and being open enough to be able to trust that you will receive back what it is that you desire to receive back, right? Not a one-way connection. So I'm feeling like this is really about letting yourself be seen, heard, acknowledged, and to receive the love for who you truly are. And are you ready to really to heed that message and to step into that? And I feel like that is what this card is speaking to. It is speaking to that desire, that preparedness of really wanting to make those connections. What came out next was the Nine of Pentacles, and the 9 is it's basically a completion card, or it is this signifier of the completion of a journey, of a pattern. And in the Nine of Pentacles here, you see like the depiction is of an abundance, abundance that you've created. So it's very physical, right? The pentacles are everything earthly. So it could be connections, it could be food, it could be monetary. So there seems to be this paradise around the evidence of the mastery, the manifestations, basically. And so it's really asking you to pay heed to all the beautiful things you have created, to stop. We get focused sometimes on what we don't have, what we're in lack, but it's saying, can you stop and really see what it is that you have created, where you've come from, and what is all around you, to have gratitude. It's not about the destination, it's truly about the journey. And here you have created so much beauty around you already. And so this card in reverse is really speaking to gaining that confidence to take that final step. So taking the final step here would be bringing a pattern or a cycle into completion. And then what happens when you bring something into completion? A new cycle starts. So what can happen when we are aware that a new cycle will start, that we're maybe taking a risk, that we are jumping into something, is that fear will come up, right? And so we might not be ready to jump out of that comfort zone. We might not be ready to take that leap. We might not trust. We might have questions coming up like, can I really do this? What will happen if I step out of this comfort? And so it's really noting that it's that last stage of the journey that is really the most critical. It's those last few steps, honestly. And so noting that sometimes we sabotage ourselves to stay in a familiar place instead of taking that leap of faith. So that's kind of the challenge, or maybe the warning here. And next that came out was the Justice card. And here I feel like this is speaking to the energetic balance. So it's kind of bringing the symbolism of the other two cards out. The first card, the Two of Cups, is really speaking to that desire, that emotional connection, the desire to put oneself out there, to make those connections. The Nine is really speaking to those challenges and the maybe fear of not of the unknown, of not knowing if you're ready to step into something and what that will look like. So that all comes up, and fear can sometimes sabotage our path or our journey. And the Justice card is really speaking to energetic balance. That's where this really feels like it's going. The sword in one hand, the scales in the other. And this is also a karmic card. It's signifying that what we put out or what we feed is being mirrored or reflected back to us. It's also posing the question of like, if we are to move forward into maybe a new way of being, a new way of thinking, stepping onto a new journey, what will we be leaving behind? And often that is comforts. What we know is familiar to us, and it's really hard to take that leap. Sometimes we are leaving people behind. Those limiting thoughts are really what stops us from the gifts of the unknown. So if you don't show up to the truth of your true potentials, you won't really know what it is that you can achieve. And the surest way to quote unquote fail, to claim your power, is by not stepping into what you could be here to do, right? So, also noting too that when you step into your power, you really show others how to claim theirs too. And we didn't come here to be hindered by limiting thoughts or beliefs. We really came here to step into that power, to step into those truths, to step into those potentials, and to believe that we are here to do big things, if that is indeed what you feel you are called to do. And so in the overall energy of this reading, it is the connections, it is the putting ourselves out there, it is the leaving or surrendering those limiting beliefs that say that we cannot or we should not, or the fears that come up, the questions that come up, that if we do that, then we will be seen, we will be heard, we will be persecuted. And then it's really speaking to the justice and the balance that comes out. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to preach. We don't have to, really truly defend anything within our truth. We just really need to show up in our authentic selves. So it's really about taking that pressure off within those connections, within whatever you are being called forth with, within your work, within your relationship building right now, within your tribe building. And this is really also speaking to that transformation. I feel like this is a transformation reading, and the butterfly came out upside down. And so in reverse, it is really signifying or pointing to that release. It's not quite ready to fly yet because it is still kind of evolving. It is still kind of working its way through the cocoon. And so when you are ready to bust out of that cocoon, out of that safe, surrounding, soft, cushiony bubble you've put around yourself, you've built around yourself, when you are ready to step out of that, I truly feel like this Justice card is paying back all that beautiful karmic energy of the work that you've put forth. It's really reaping the benefits of the courage and the bravery of stepping forward, letting go of those fears, taking a risk, stepping into your power, putting yourself out there in the most beautiful ways. That's what I truly feel like you've come here to do. We truly didn't come here to play it small. We came here to be as big as our energetic fields truly are. And that's not in fighting or persuading or proving anything to anyone. It is our dharmic path. It is our heart path. It is shining our light. And so the surest way to help ourselves and others is really to step into that power and to shine. And that is really the underlying essence, I feel like, of this reading this week. So I will leave you with that. Blessings.